Hello everybody, my name is Idiotic Synergy and welcome to Looking at Rules. Basically, I'm not a competitive player, however these new rules have piqued my interest because they are both Chaos related. One of them is Chaos Knights and the other is Chaos Space Marines, and we're going to look at them both today. So, let's just jump into it with Chaos Space Marines just being the most punchiest of all the lads. 3 attacks for the basic Chaos Space Marine, or Legionary if you call them. I'm going to call them Chaos Space Marines. I've been calling Chaos Space Marines for over 6 years now. It feels weird calling them anything else. So, Chaos Space Marines are really punchy, but why have I highlighted this? Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain. The aspiring champion is the sergeant in your little tactical squad. And back in the day, when Chaos Space Marines only had 1 attack, you would see this combination with the sergeant. You would see a sergeant with baseline of 2 attacks, because he is a sergeant, chainsword, which gives him another attack, and you would just hope to God that he charges in and survives, because 1 wound made you flimsy like toilet paper. Yeah. You would get 4 attacks if your sergeant survived, and then you would have to rely on everybody else's just baseline of 2 attacks. It wasn't that great, but now because the sergeant gets 4 baseline attacks, it allows for some really nice customization. For example, you can bring a chainsword along if you want. If you fancy just bringing a chainsword along. That gives you 6 attacks now. You can bring power swords and power axes with you. That's now a viable option. You can even bring thunder hammers and power fists on your sergeant. Yes, it's -1 to hit, but it's a really swingy unit. But the upside is you have 5 attacks to make it. 5 attacks. That's not to be sniffed at. 5 attacks of anything is pretty good. And that's I like these rules because they allow me to customize my sergeants the way I want them, not because it feels kind of like lackluster if I put any other weapon on them. Like, it was always chainsword and bolt pistol, or chainsword and plasma if you felt fancy. But now you can really customize them, and they will be awesome to use in game. Sorry about that sudden edit, everyone. I coughed and it managed to peak the microphone. So, yeah, I had to cut that out because otherwise it would have hurt everyone's ears. So, let's talk about this, about 3 things technically, but the Balefire Acolyte is now allowed to be in every single army, not just the 1,000 Suns, which is quite nice, I might say, if you're using Psychers and stuff. That is quite nice. Another thing that I like is these 2, well, more specifically, their weapons, though I do love these models. Look how happy they are. Let me just zoom in and show you. It's a low resolution image because I zoomed in, but look how happy this fella is. He came straight out of the warp with a smile on his face. So did he. These 2, they're like on a holiday in Blackpool. They're just happy, they're joyous, they're just gonna kill some people, then go back and probably cry about Horus again because they're Black Legion and that's all they do is mourn about Horus and follow Abaddon, who failed 13 times to kill 1 fucking planet. Cadia. Anyway, so let's start with the Heavy Chain Axe, which is this wonderful looking weapon that should honestly belong to a Khorne Berserker. The Heavy Chain Axe is Strength +4, so Strength 8, AP -4, which is not to be sniffed at, and Damage 2. I wish it was Damage 3, because it sort of reminds me of a Thunder Hammer, but maybe Thunder Hammer's the wrong one. A Power Fist. The stats kind of remind me of a Power Fist, though with a Power Fist it's AP -2, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think it is AP -2 for a Power Fist, AP -3 for a Thunder Hammer. So AP -4 is really good for a chain axe, but each time an attack is made with this weapon, subtract 1 from that attack's hit roll. So you're hitting on 4s, but if you equip this on a sergeant and charge in, that's 5 attacks hitting on 4s. So that is quite good, especially if you've got like a Chaos Lord or someone that can reroll 1s for you nearby, or reroll all misses, then that is really, really quite good. The other weapon, which gives me hope for demon armies, is the Demon Blade. Now, I don't know if this might be a stupid thing to even suggest, but if say the Demon Blade, this Demon Blade replaced all Chaos Demon weapons, so you get no more Plague Sword, it's just called a Demon Blade, I would be okay with that. But I know that Bloodletters have certain weapons, Slaanesh has certain weapons, and Tzeentch has certain melee weapons. I forgot what all of them are called. But honestly, I play Nurgle Demons, and Plague Bearers don't have any decent melee weapons. There's no melee weapon with an AP minus. I want at least give me AP 1 for Plague Bearers, for fuck's sake. Or on a 6 it does a mortal wound, because it's a plague weapon. Anyway, well, that's a different video altogether. So, this is the Demon Blade, and it's Strength 4, AP -2, Damage 2. The reason I know it's Strength 4 is because it's Strength of the user, and the user's Strength is only a Strength 4. So, you're wounding on 4s, especially if you're attacking Primaris, but this rule is quite cool. Each time an attack is made with this weapon on an unmodified wound roll of 6, the target suffers 1 mortal wound in addition to any normal damage. So, 5 attacks, you hit them, say, 3 times, and you get boxcars on 2, but you miss with 1. So, what I mean by boxcars is you roll 2 6s. So that is 3 attacks, each at AP minus 2 wounds each at AP -2, but that's already 2 mortal wounds, so that's 1 dead Primaris. It is quite a decent little weapon. I like the Demon Blade, and hopefully this is... I'm not saying this will, but I kind of want it to be a hint at what sort of weapons demons can enjoy, because Chaos Demons need some decent melee weapons. Yes, I know Khorne Demons have decent melee weapons. Slaanesh has decent melee weapons, but what does Nurgle have? Nurglings that are toughness 2, and a squad of 30 Plague Bearers that you can lose during the morale phase more than the shooting phase. But yeah, I like the Demon Blade, and it would make sense for demons to have this sort of weapon on them. So, I think that's it for everything. Yep, and it says here that in the coming months more rules will be announced. So let's move on to Chaos Knights. And now we are on the Chaos Knights detachment. Oh, let me line that up properly. And this is fascinating to me. I love this to bits. I think it's really sort of lore friendly and really kind of cool, and I hope Chaos Space Marines get a similar sort of treatment, because, let me sum it up for you. Every model that you kill, I hope it's models, it just says a certain tally of kills, whether that's models or units, I do not know. But for every model you kill, I'm going to assume, you gain 1 towards your tally, and with that tally you get to choose an offering of your own chosen Chaos God of choice. And it's really fascinating, because it's a great risk-reward thing as well. So, let me show you what I mean. So this is the Blood Shield, and as you probably read, with the Blood Shield, you can shut down all invulnerable saves for your foe and yourself once per battle. Now what that means is that if you don't kill the thing in the fight phase with a knight, then you expect a World of Hurt back, because Khorne doesn't like all that psycho bullshit, and invulnerable saves are kind of psycho bullshit. Basically, you need to kill the thing in melee combat first before you can, or just, like I said, expect a World of Hurt. The other thing that I love about the Blood Shield is this. If it's an item dominant, I've mispronounced that I'm sorry. It loses the psychic keyword and cannot manifest psychic powers, but its weapon skill characteristic is improved by 1, and its attacks characteristic is increased by 1. Now that might not sound like a big deal for the attacks characteristic, because let's face it, to trade off psychic powers with an attack characteristic of 1 isn't worth it. The thing that makes it worth it is the weapon skill. Because if your knight is on the top bracket, managed to get into a charge, and is currently in the fight phase, you are fighting a knight who can hit on 2s and more than likely wound on 2s. That is not to be sniffed at, and the favoured ability is that, if you can get to it, is that you can activate its blood shield 1 additional time during the battle. The other thing we've got shown is the Slanesh one, which lets you, in your movement phase, each time this model advances or fall back until the end of your shooting phase, it counts as having remained stationary. And the favoured ability is that this model is eligible to declare a charge within a turn in which it's advanced and fell back, which is very, very interesting, but doesn't seem to have that cause and effect thing going on. Laser Destructor. That's the knight I have. It doesn't seem to have that weird cause and effect thing going on. But then again, I guess the effect of going with Slanesh is that you can't go with any other Chaos God. Huh. That is slightly odd. I kind of wish that this Slanesh one had the same cause and effect as this, because this is fantastic. But the Slanesh one doesn't, for some reason. And now we get onto Papillon Undivided, which you get for Blessings of the Dark Master. Basically, somebody that worships fucking Be'lakor. I'm not the biggest Be'lakor fan because he turned up and does nothing. But if you get favours for Be'lakor, each time an attack is made against this model, your opponent cannot reroll the hit roll, cannot reroll the wound roll, and cannot reroll the damage roll. Holy shit, that's kind of cool. But Be'lakor's not a good character because of this. But if you manage to get favoured by Be'lakor, because it's clearly Be'lakor, and it's in the 3 asterisks, which means by the end of it, it's going to turn out, oh, we mean Be'lakor, obviously. But the favoured ability is quite interesting. Each time an attack is made against this model, an unmodified hit roll of 1, 2, or 3... Well, hit rolls of 1 is always a fail regardless. For that attack fails, irrespective of any abilities that the weapon or model making that attack may have. So you have to wound them on 4s or higher if you're favoured. I didn't expect that I would generally like this rule here, because as I was reading it, it was like reroll the hit roll, cannot reroll the hit roll, cannot reroll the wound roll, but cannot reroll the damage roll. Is fascinating. So if your knight gets hit by a d6 weapon, that's it, and they roll a 1, that's it. They cannot re-roll that. That is fantastic. Anyway, something else that I find interesting is that there are 15 favours in all, which is huge, because 15 favours to choose from. This knight players might have one of the best customization possible, and that's the knight I have. I have that knight with the laser beam, but it's got a giant chainsword instead of the claw because I like chainsword. But that is interesting. And did it mean Be'lakor? Yay! Guess what? I was right. So that was 15 choices. I love choices in Warhammer, but my god, 15 favours. I hope more favours have cause and effect. I hope it's more like you gain this favour, but this happens, because otherwise that corn one of shutting off invulnerable saves seems a bit naff. but it also comes with a points cost and a power rating increase. So that is interesting, and no duplicate favors either. That is cool. That is cool. I'm hyped for Chaos Knights. I do own a Chaos Knight, like I said, the laser beam. But yeah, that is interesting. I might run in with my Night Lords when I finally get them done. Anyway, I have been Idiotic Synergy. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Also, before I forget, please like and subscribe. Comment down below if you want. If not, then hey, that's fine. And also subscribe to my Ko-fi, where I occasionally post silly Warhammer stories from time to time. So, until next time, I'll see you later.